The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal will decide whether it will allow a person with forged certificates and criminal conviction to be the president against the Constitution. If the tribunal fails to disqualify Ahmed Tinubu, despite clear evidence of forgeries and criminal conviction, and disregards the Constitution, it destroys public integrity in Nigeria. The evidence before the tribunal is clear that a U.S. court convicted Bola Tinubu of drug offense and ordered him to forfeit a huge sum as fine. He also presented a fake certificate to INEC. The Constitution disqualifies from public office anyone convicted of a crime or who presents a fake certificate because these crimes undermine public integrity. Since 1999, a speaker, a Senate president, and a minister of finance have been removed from office because they presented fake certificates. None of these had criminal convictions, but presenting fake certificates was enough to remove them from office. Today, our country is overrun by criminality and forgery. The tribunal cannot continue to encourage crime. We cannot be a republic of fraud. Otherwise, we lose credit and reputation and become a criminal state where even judges themselves will be victims. The tribunal must disqualify Tinubu for certificate forgery and criminal conviction. It must heed the advice of the Supreme Court in Saleh versus Abba that the courts must actively fight certificate forgery and should never allow anyone who presented a fake certificate to contest election in any public office. The fate of Nigeria is in the hands of the Presidential Election Tribunal. It will decide either to uphold the Constitution or save one maniac's political ambition. The fact is that Bola Tinubu is not qualified to contest election as president. His nomination violates the Constitution and should be nullified. By the Constitution, a candidate that nominates his vice president can only replace the vice president within 14 days. Any replacement of a vice president nominee after 14 days makes the entire nomination invalid. Tinubu first nominated Alhaji Masari as vice president. Masari withdrew from the nomination on June 24, 2022. Tinubu did not replace him until July 2022. This is 21 days, 7 days more than the mandatory 14 days for replacement. This violates Section 33 of the Electoral Act, which requires that any replacement of a vice president nomination must be within 14 days. The APM has proved these facts in the tribunal against Tinubu. In the past, the courts have nullified similar nominations. The law is the same. Section 142 of the Constitution requires the tribunal to nullify Tinubu's candidacy. The tribunal should uphold the Constitution by disqualifying Tinubu as it has done before. This is not politics. It is the Constitution. To become president, contrary to the law, is to carry out a coup against the Constitution. To allow Tinubu to remain in office or to participate in a rerun election is to violate Section 1 of the Constitution. We don't want to be like Niger and Mali, where disrespect for Constitution has led to coups and civil wars. Judges should save Nigeria. No one is above the law. Even under military dictatorship, jurists like Esho and Uwais upheld the rule of law despite threats to life. They believe in the rule of law, not the rule of force or privilege. All eyes are on the judiciary. We know that Tinubu's nomination violated the Constitution. He must be disqualified and removed from office. The tribunal must defend the Constitution, like the Kenyan Supreme Court, that in the face of threat nullified the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta. As Justice Oguntade advised, justice must be done, even if the heavens fall. When justice has been done, the heavens stay in place. The tribunal should do justice, and the heavens will not fall.